If you go to the debt clock, which is we show a lot on this program, we see a $22 trillion national debt. How do you attribute how we got to that? And from the information you take in, how do we get there?
Well, both parties feel the fastest ticket to reelection is to spend our money. So you have, Republicans castigating Democrats as tax and spend, yet Republicans have proven once again that they're the party of tax cut and spend, and both parties are spending. And I think, Pedro, that's how we get to this point.
So if you want to ask our guest questions about spending and debt issues and more information that his organization has put together, you can join the conversation by giving us a call. Republicans 202-748-8001, Democrats 202-748-8000, and Independents 202-748-8002. Tweet your comments at C-SPAN WJ. Post on our Facebook page at facebook.com/cspan. I want to talk about the budget deal that was signed just recently for 2019. First of all, one of the elements of that is suspending the debt ceiling through July 2021. Talk about your impressions of that move. What does it do for debt overall?
Well, the debt ceiling slaps a cap on spending, and when you remove that cap, then quite frankly, it's a free-for-all, and the gravy train can continue to run. So the budget deal that was just negotiated between Representative Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and the president and Stephen Mnuchin over at Treasury basically will add $350 billion to discretionary spending over the course of the next 2 years. So just a little brief history. Since 2016, you have record income tax collections. Even after the Trump tax cut, on a nominal basis, you have more money coming into the Treasury than ever before in the history of the country. But since 2016, during the Trump administration, 2 years of Republican-controlled Congress, and now 1 year with the Democrats in control of House appropriations, you have a 20% increase in discretionary spending. You have a 20% increase in spending. So the spending, we don't have a revenue problem, we have a spending problem.
And so the reversals, I mean, you talk a lot about and show the details, but what do you recommend is the cure for this, if your organization even does so?
So there was a proposal in front of the United States Senate last month. Rand Paul put forward a penny cut plan. It would reduce spending each year by 1 penny. And that was actually in the Republican-controlled Senate. It was voted down because of a lack of Republican commitment to this very basic fiscal plan. That would have gone a long way toward reining in the overspending.
By reducing it just a penny?
Right.
How does that work?
So you would, for instance, in our own households, we live by this all the time. We live on, we can always cut 1 penny or 1% from what we spent last year. That's all Rand Paul was asking. After the Republican-controlled Congress hiked spending over the course of the last 2 years by $300 billion of discretionary spending, he was just saying, on the discretionary spending, cut a penny. That's it. And Republicans couldn't even embrace that plan. These Republicans that had ran on fiscal conservatism couldn't even embrace the Rand Paul plan.
You talk about spending. There's a story out today in several papers about the budget gap, as it's known. The headline from the Wall Street Journal says it's widened 27% in a period, saying that the Treasury Department said Monday that federal receipts rose 3% from October through July, totaling $2.9 trillion, while outlays climbed 8% to $3.7 trillion.
Right, and this goes back to whether we have a revenue problem or a spending problem. So since 2016, tax collections have actually increased forecasted by the Congressional Budget Office. By the time President Trump leaves office, over 4 years, they're going to be up 13%. Meanwhile, over that same period, the forecast is spending will be up by 20%.